it means that yes, today it does not make any commercial sense for us to do LNG. To go and export gas because of the US shale gas. Gas is so cheap. And there's no need for us. So what we need to do is quickly to go and hide and do gas industries, all these petrochemicals, but everything you can do with gas. Even the gas, it is gas that you use to crack and also have methanol. And you know, methanol, you can use 10% of methanol into any liquid, whether it's aviation fuel or something, without changing anything, up to 10% maximum, you can blend. So they can do quite a lot with gas, and that's what I believe that we should do in Nigeria, to be able to, you know, broaden the base of the revenue. You know, because we are increasing, population is increasing by 3% annually. So if population is increased by 3% annually, you need quite a lot to be able to, you know, because we have very high tests, unfortunately, you know, in Nigeria. And it means that we'll be spending most of our money in terms of imports, which shouldn't be the case at all. We should be using more of our local products. And then we have the packaging. This one is quite big. I will take it. No, go back. Logistics. Then this is the energy, and then this, you know, the telecom. I will take you to there because the telecom, you know, we attempted before going to telecom, and eventually we had to set our 3G license to H Salad because yes, we sold to H Salad. We didn't really go into telecom because, you know, in telecom only 3 people make money: number 1, number 2, and number 3. Anything below that, nobody will make money at all. You know, but we're cheating out, not because we believe that, no, because it is not our strength. That's number 1. Number 2, we decided to also leave the business because the only option for us to take, you know, because you cannot go and sell icing of the cake on its own. You have to have the cake and icing to be able to sell them together. But what you had was actually the icing, which is 3G. You know, it's for many data. So what we intend to do then was to go into Nitel and buy their own 2G and merge with our own. But because of lack of understanding and also the uproar that we went through during the purchase of the refineries, I'm sure a lot of you are aware, you know, which I even got upset and returned it to them and said that, oh, okay, you go and try, since you said that you can run the refineries. And you can see what happened, you know, the lack of selling of the refineries. You see, that's why in business, sometimes when we look at companies, we look at issues, sometimes we are better to call somebody and say, please, narrator, can you take this company? Not only free, I will give you money, take it. But if you look at it today, Nigeria has actually lost more than 5 trillion for not passing that, those refineries on to private sector to run. You know, I remember I was part of the team also advising government what to do when the oil prices went to $36. At the time the oil went to $36, it would have been much better for the government to have deregulated, because the price of PMS at that time would have come down to only 50 naira. So, you know, by that time, as the price was going up, you know, there won't be need for anything like, you know, subsidy. And it is because of that, you know, and that's why when you look at it, really, you know, Nigeria is a fantastic country. I've never seen a country like this where now you say that, yes, you know, somebody has taken, you know, people have claimed more money than is, you know, than they're supposed to. And what is the amount that they overclaimed that we're talking about? $10 billion. But, you know, people are going about their own business. You know, they have more other worries than that. Okay, so this is the other one that we have. Go to the next page. On foods. Yeah, on food, this is what we have. We have the largest sugar refinery, which is 1.44. We started in 2000. We listed only 30% in the capital market. We had an IPO, which was very successful, and then we produced amplified white sugar with vitamin A white. And then the normal market, we still have 70% of the market. Go to the next one. Savannah Sugar, we bought through privatization. You know, it was owned by the government, which was established in 1971. It's in Adamawa State, not far away from the borders of Taraba and Cameroon Republic. And then we have, 50,000 metric tons. You know, the thing is that you can only grow sugar in an area where there's a dam, you know, because it's not like Brazil where you use rainfall, but only you will need 3 months of irrigation, and most of the costs come through the irrigation. But if you are able to grow the sugar, you know, it is a fantastic business. But you know, also when you look at it, in the last 2 months, for example, sugar has dropped by almost 40%. Yes, and that is one of the issues. You see, when you do things where now some people keep coming to tell our leaders that, look, you know, free market, free market, free market. Why are they not going to China and other areas, asking them to practice the free market? You look at India. India closed their market for how long? They didn't listen to anybody. You know, they do that. And sometimes, even when you are going to open your market, make sure your locals, you know, are well fed. Let them fill up their stomach first before you invite other people. Because if you have weaker entrepreneurs, you can only be like, maybe like a place like Dubai, for example. Dubai, they are not reaping the real benefit. Despite that, if they are, you know, like that, it's not everybody, because they are small. They are 1 point something, in the United Arab Emirates, 1.38 or so million people only. So they have a lot of foreigners. The jobs they are creating is not really for that people, it's for other people, you know, but they are getting benefit because, you know, they can open shops, they can open businesses, you know, there are some areas they will cover and say, no, unless you are from United Arab Emirates, you are not allowed to have a land there. You can only be a tenant, which is good. So they are creating a lot of, they are very smart, they are creating a lot of things for them. And that's really what should be happening here. So in the sugar, you know, in sugar business, the real sugar business, which is milling, not refining, there's no waste. And you can do, you know, ethanol, you can do biocompost, it's like fertilizer actually, use it like fertilizer. You also generate power, which is free, because what you do, you use the bagasse, which is the shell of the sugar cane, and burn it and generate power. So the power will come free. And then we want to do ethanol 100 million liters. This can come out of a 1 million tons of white sugar production, which means 10 million tons of sugar cane. This one we need 100,000 hectares. So far we've gotten only about 72,000. So we're still trying to accumulate. Unfortunately, you can only grow sugar where there is dam. You know, so that because about 3 months or so, you have to, no, 2 months of the year, you have to do an irrigation. And irrigation there must be done. And that's why if you look at it, Bachita wasn't successful because Bachita and you know, the farm and also the power holding company, they are struggling with the same water, the same Kainji water, you know. So, and you know, obviously being a government, you can't compete with the government. Even when the late Mr. Dam bought, I realized that definitely yes, there's no way she can make it, you know, because government will always start there. But the water is shared between NEPA and company. And this the plan operation commenced in 1999. We listed 2006. 2007. We have 7,300, which means we can process a little bit of, we can do about almost 3 million tons. We do flour, confectionery flour, bread flour, pasta, semolina, and the alkama, which is like semolina. And then pasta will have headlines with about 31 million tons capacity. And when we started this business of pasta, we were doing about 600,000 cartons, and we're actually the largest in Nigeria at that time. Then the noodles, noodles business has not really been excellent. There are reasons for that. Now, what I keep saying, we're not really a fast mover consumer goods company. It is a different skills. Next one. Okay, this as well. This company was incorporated in 1973 and fully privatized in 1982. We didn't participate in the privatization. It was after the privatization that, because at that time, 1982, we were not in industry at all. And what we did at that time, we just, they were doing some table salt, and it was competing a bit with Dangote salt. So what we did was to buy shares into the company at that time, and to try and make sure that we take over the management and control the company and see what what we are doing. So after, I don't know why you are laughing. So, with that one now, what we did was to try and see if let us improve on their processes and but eventually, we realized that our own business is still a better one. But the only benefit that we had was actually to do a reverse merger. By doing a reverse merger, we saved quite a lot of cost in terms of paying fees and whatever, So we saved quite a lot of money, and we just did a reverse merger. It's a salt business. The problem with salt business, the growth of salt business is limited. Because even if somebody gives you salt free of charge, you won't take it. You can only take the minimum that you need. And but it's good. We've been making good money on the salt. It's a company that has never borrowed money, and we give very generous dividend. This year, I think, after paying of tax, we paid dividend of about 1.87 billion. And the first quarter we did about $1 billion, $1 billion naira, which is good for a salt. But what we've done also, because we had over 5 billion in cash, so we now have expanded it into other businesses, like oil refining, which will be ready fourth quarter. We are doing tomato business also, and also seasoning, and it's all owned by the same NASCO. Go to the next one. This is the packaging. This one that I told you, are doing all our bags. If you look at all our cement bags, we want to continue to expand, and we set it up in 1998.